Pottenkulam with the Welsh team at Keller Williams Realty. We are talking renovation loans today, and this is Donny.
Hi, I'm Donny Griffin with Jet Home Loans.
Well, we're going to chat a little bit today, and Donny, tell me, what is a renovation loan? Let's start there.
Well, renovation loan, unlike if you were to do like a home equity line, if you owned a home right now, this actually allows you to buy a home and include the cost to renovate the home all in one loan. So you'll have one loan that will basically allow you to do all the renovations on the home. So it's actually very cool.
Is there any limits to what you can do to a home?
There's no limits, but everything when the appraiser goes out, it's subject to basically the appraisal is subject to what you're doing to the home. So you never really want to overbuild. Like you don't want to add a tennis court in a neighborhood that homes don't have tennis courts. But you can basically, you're in control with your contractor that you pick to do the renovation. So this is more basically taking an older home that needs some sprucing up and doing the items that you might want to get that, that look that you're looking for at this time, if it's floors, kitchen, or bathroom.
And it's ideally, taking those 70s, 80s homes and bringing it into the 21st century, ideally.
Basically, or to do repairs that it might need.
Sure.
Maybe updating the AC unit, a roof, plumbing, electrical. Those things are all things that even in, your business where you come across, you didn't know that it had, bad plumbing, and all of a sudden now you have a home that you've listed that's bad plumbing, and the seller's willing to do it, that's also an option. So there's so many different options now that are out there to help sellers and buyers, acquire the property.
Okay.
So,
Can you walk us through the process a little bit? So you find the house, and it needs $20,000 worth of work just to fix it up, and then $10,000 to update.
yeah, so it's actually, it's a little bit more of a couple extra steps that you have to do, but nothing major, because what you're going to do is you're going to, of course, meet with you, and then you're going to put them with a reputable lender that does this program, or the program that you're looking for this home. And you've got a slew of programs. All the programs will do some type of renovation work. So from FHA to conventional to VA to USDA. So everybody does it. But the step one is basically to get pre-approved. And then the step two is find a house. And then step three, that house needs renovations. It needs 20 grand worth of work. It's getting with a contractor to make sure that works. So you're under contract. When you do your home inspection, most contractors can actually do home inspections, even if they're not licensed, but they're licensed contractors, so they can do the home inspection. So why not have them do it so they can tell you maybe some other little things that you might want to add besides redoing the bathroom. He submits a bid to the buyer. The buyer gives me the bid. That's when we're really partying, because now we can order the appraisal, because we want that appraisal subject to that.
Those repairs.
Yes. So that house gets the value. Okay. That's your critical thing. Now with FHA, they do, because they're the ones that really came up with the program, which is you hear 203K. It's a little misconstrued in my opinion, because all the FHA loans are 203 something, from H to B. Right. I don't know why they do it that way, but they do. But so they'll allow you to go to 110% of the after appraised value.
Okay.
But just getting back to our process, so then it just goes through the normal process. You close, so now the seller is out of the picture. The buyer, basically, he or she or they are in control of the house. Okay. The contractor then comes in, and then we pay the contractor through we have actual renovation department that handles all of that. So they stay with me through the process a little bit longer, and they'll probably include you as well. But you know, it's a wonderful program. I mean, to spruce up, you know, some of these older homes that are especially for our buyers that are coming in that, you know, are looking not to spend that huge amount. And then there's some that want to spend a lot of money that can spruce up as well.
Sure.
And that's it. I mean, it's one more step.
Right.
And that's the contractor getting the bids. That's where the challenge usually becomes. Because you always want to get a second opinion. Oh, I can save some money here, save some money there. You know, that's a whole nother story we'll get into later.
So for the lending process, does that take much longer? So average financing takes about between 30 to 45 days. Would it take longer than that?
Well, I think the lenders are all about 30 days now on regular loans. So I'm going to put this one into a 45-day.
Okay.
It might be 60-day for these more extravagant builds and rebuilds and renovations, but 45 days is usually safe, especially if you already have contractors already working, ready to go. You know, and you know, I'm sure you have some contractors. I try not to suggest. You know, if they do, I always give them 3. You know,
Right.
and I recommend. That's a kind of a weird word that we don't like to kind of get into. You know?
So that is one thing that's important though. So the buyer has control as to who they pick.
Absolutely. And that contractor through our process does get, every time, even if I just used him, he gets repulled. There's like a credit report, let's call it, that's pulled on him to make sure he's in good standing.
Okay.
So we're trying to protect all parties all the time.
Absolutely.
So,
Once you close on the home, is there a timeline as how long the work has to be completed by?
Well, in general, we want you done in 120 days, but we look at the scope of work and we work with the contractor to meet, we kind of work with, the contractor kind of dictates that. So if he feels, if it's just a roof and some flooring, you know, that they might take 15 days to do that. But when you're doing some bathrooms and you're getting cabinets and stuff like that, those are your 45 days, 120 days. So all of them can go 120 days, you know. A cool thing at FHA, they'll allow you to build in, let's say, they'll let you build in a couple months of like rent into the mortgage, which is, I've never done it, but you have to send some more paperwork to prove that that's what it's the case. And, you know, on those bigger builds. And just know when it's so detailed now, you almost, I feel like 3 series. You have your escrow holdback renovation, which are those simple fixes, which actually, let's say the seller didn't want to do the work, but would pay for the work at closing, and then it's finished afterwards, and they put the money in escrow, we have that.
Okay.
So that's kind of in the escrow, the kind of realm. Then you have your renovations, your 2 or 3K limited, 2 or 3K full, and then all your conventional VA products.
Okay.
The USDA kind of falls more in that escrow world, where it's just trying to do property minimum standards.
Sure. And that's is there a limit as to what those escrows can be?
Oh yes, and they vary per program, per what we're doing. So that's when you need to call us.
Right.
That's when you really need to call me, and we go through what's going to best fit your situation. So that's, and if I'll say anything, and I've talked to many realtors, our guidance is extremely important today more than ever. I mean, you're important, super important in this process and guiding them, and maybe translating it a little bit differently than what I'm saying.
Right.
You know.
And real estate, it's always about a partnership. I mean, at the end of the day, if your lender, your buyer, realtors are not all working together, we're not going to be able to have a great, smooth transaction.
Absolutely, it's so critical. This time.
Well, so if anybody watching out there, please send us some additional questions. One other thing I was thinking about was interest rate. Is it different? Renovation
Yeah,
versus
you
new?
can probably pay about 3/8 to a quarter higher, which, you know, you're still in the 3s. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy right now how great interest rates are right now. And, you know, that has a lot to do with the economy, how well the economy is doing, and the Fed trying to keep inflation down.
Sure.
So, you know, they fight inflation, you know, when they're trying to fight to keep inflation down, rates, you know, are the benefactor of that, which is fantastic.
Well, and to that point of the interest rate being a quarter to and 3/8 of a point higher, it's much better than what you're going to get if you go get a Home Depot card or, you know, put it on a line of credit or something like that.
And what I like to say is, let the house pay for itself,
Right.
you know, and get, you know, you're able to do what you want to do and get what you want to get, you know. You know, there's people that just want to add a pool. Well, we have just a pool loan,
Right.
you know, that is a purchase. You can add the pool, pick the pool guy you want, and go from there, you know. So you've got the options on these renovations. We have over, I think it's 19 programs now. It's amazing what you're seeing, you know, and the flexibility, I guess, is there. And it's not that the flexibility on the approvability of the customer, it's the flexibility of the program to meet your needs as a buyer.
That's excellent. Well, that's really kind of the key things. You know, when you're sitting down and trying to figure out, well, one of the things that we do in the discovery process when we're talking with homes is that, well, what is it? What are their goals? And it sounds like these programs are great because based on their goals, we can find the right program for them.
Yes,
Be able to get them that dream home.
absolutely. It's the potential is unbelievable that these have to help your buyers. I mean, and honestly, to help your sellers move a property that maybe may not be moving.
Yes.
You know.
Excellent. And we see that all day. I mean, this time of year with new construction out there being a significant competition for resale homes, this renovation loan is a fantastic option for people to choose.
Absolutely, especially for our move-up buyers, you know. I mean, even a move-up buyer can move into a home that, you know, they kind of know what they need, you know. They're a little bit easier buyer, but they're also a little bit tougher because they know what they need.
Right.
And some of these homes don't have it. So this helps location. You know, that's the big thing. And moving forward, that's, you know, from school districts with families to, you know, moving down, you know, and maybe they're buying a house at the beach, and, you know, we're seeing all the renovations go on there.
Yes.
It's crazy, so.
No matter what side of town you are, here in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Orange Park, there's plenty of old homes that could use some love and renovation.
Absolutely. And we, you know, we have people that just do the historic homes, so we already kind of know what they're looking for, and there's certain contractors that really know what they're looking for to keep in that historic district.
That's going to be my next
The
question.
Springfield area's been
Right.
real big, and of course Avondale and all of those older, the Raps, you know, we're staying in their guidelines, and it's pretty easy now. You know, these guys really kind of know what they're looking for. The contractors have been great, you know. Those are exciting when you start pulling walls down.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a great point that I'll bring up. All of these loans, all of them have a 10% contingency. So if you came with me on the 20,000, let's use that, there would be a 10% contingency that goes on top of that.
Sure.
If you don't use that money, it goes and it reduces your loan too. So I don't need to scroll around, but that's kind of triggered a thought. So there is a safety net in case there's overruns.
Of course. And that's important, especially in a market, even because the renovations are so prevalent right now, those loans, is that you may have multiple buyers in that ability to do a renovation. So that 10% cushion gives them a little bit of, even if they have to price it, pay a little bit higher on the initial purchase price.
Yeah, I see the direction you're going. Maybe I didn't explain that right. So, you know, let's say they're buying a house, okay, and then they're going to do, the contractor gave them a $20,000 bid. We instantly put a 10% on top of this bid.
Oh, on the bid. Right.
On the bid.
Yep.
To make sure if there's any overruns. And we make everybody, you know, it's pretty funny. They always seem to find a way to use that money.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's some people that are pretty frugal, and they're to the T of what they get. So it's person to person what ends up happening, but there is that kind of blanket to catch you in case there is an overrun.
Yes.
You know, you open up a wall and there's termite damage, or
There's always surprises.
you know, water damage is really the biggest thing. But you know, on a $20,000 bid, you know, $2,000, you don't think that's a lot of money, but typically when they're already in there, it's not that. It's, you know, that's well more than what they need to fix a wall, let's say, unless it's a big load-bearing wall.
Sure.
On a long stretch, you know, something crazy like that.
Of course. Now, hopefully you get the good contractor that has kind of done their homework and knows most of that.
Yeah, but like everything, you know, even the walls we're sitting in, you don't know what's behind here until you open it up.
Sure.
You know, a lot of times. So.
Right. Well, any questions out there that we can answer?
There's one about a refinancing on a renovation loan. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the good thing about that. You know, right now, you know, some people, you know, let's say they bought 2 years ago. They changed the cash out loan to values are a lot lower now. Or they were, you know, you could go pretty high. You could go at 90, 95%. Now you can go 80%. That's it. So you can do a renovation loan refinance. So you just, the same process, you get the bid, we look at the bid and we go to the loan to value of the new appraised value, you know, add in your floors, your kitchen, or your bath that you're redoing, which are the big items that really give you value. So yes, you can do that. You just give us a call, we just do a refinance with the renovation.
That's great. Great point. Any other questions out there?
No, but you might want to touch base as we get into the warmer months. There's lots of homes without pools. So.
Right, so the pool loan is a fantastic program. So most people just go and finance through the pool companies. But if you already own a home right now, or in your case, you know, you have those couples that just want that pool, adding a pool with a birdcage is a very common program that we use, especially new construction. You know, we see a lot of people. You know, most builders don't want to add a pool, you know, because they don't want to delay their closing. But if they already know they're going to do a pool loan in the beginning, we build it in, and they just do a pool loan right there.
Okay.
And they're still able to close even though the pool's not done. You know what I mean? The house has a certificate of occupancy. Pool's not quite done yet. They can still close, move in, pool can be being completed, or if they just started, whatever, and go from there. So it's a great program.
Well, so talk a little bit more about that. It's still one loan, obviously, so we're doing that. Is there limits as to, obviously, a pool cost for that?
You got to be careful. I mean, that's the best point of the pool loan is you can do an overbill. But what I'm seeing when people do the pool loans is they're doing an outside kitchen. For some reason, and I see that there's a lot of value in that. You know, you start doing an outdoor kitchen with refrigeration and gas grill and whatever these fancy grills are now, you are getting dollar for dollar, almost like. I'm not gonna say it's just like a kitchen indoor, but it's pretty close. You know what I mean? It's really a phenomenal program.
Well, that's an excellent point, though. We should. It's something for us to take back too. So when we have buyers who are looking at just adding pools, well, we should look at adding the summer kitchen as well, because that's a great value.
On one of my renovations, they didn't do an outdoor pool. What they did is they extended the patio and did an outdoor kitchen and added a pergola.
Okay.
The pergola didn't really give them any value per se, but if they did build it, that outdoor kitchen gave them almost dollar for dollar. Because that was what that community had. You know what I mean? The people that built this house several years ago, they didn't, in that community, they didn't add anything extra. So when they sold, the couple that bought wanted that because everybody around them had that. And, you know, with the fire pit and everything like that, it gave them, it was a great, you know, it's not really a pool loan, but their renovation was able to build that in. was kind of cool. I was really surprised
That's nice and point.
how it just made it more of a comparable to the
Right.
other homes that were selling.
Yes.
And of course, square footage. You can add square footage. That's something that really gives you value, as you know. The 2,400 square foot, the 2,000 square foot, the square footage is there. It's going to help you.
Now, square footage is always key, and everybody wants space. Everybody wants to have some distance between rooms for a split plan. So those are always key when expanding on homes.
Absolutely. Everybody's big on the big master bath and everything, and that's what it is right now. I mean, it's big kitchen, big living rooms with the nice master bath. And
I have another question. It says, does each contractor need to be approved by you, or do you have a list that customers have to work with?
no. So just like I said a little while ago, when we bring on a new customer, and let's say I just worked with this contractor, each contractor again is reevaluated each time. It's just the process. It really doesn't take that long at all. It's a quick report that they pull. So I basically do like a renovation package that doesn't take me 10 minutes, and then I send it to the renovation department and they approve them. And we know in days. And we've had a couple that had something come back, and we did some more investigating, and it was fine. They told us what happened. I mean, they were very truthful up front. This is what happened.
Sure.
And unfortunately, people are not always full, but truth tellers, I guess, is what I'll say. And when you get the full story and then you read the story, most of these contractors are good people, is what I've found, in general. So, but to answer the question, bring your contractor. We'll get them approved.
So, and it does need to be a general contractor.
A licensed general contractor. Handymen that have a license, and let's say they're doing certain things, as long as they don't have to pull a permit, are fine to use. Now, most are general contractors.
Right.
Now, they might have a sub doing something else,
Right.
but that doesn't really matter because
the primary.
in the primary. Now, I've had one case where he was a licensed handyman and he pulled subcontractors, and all he did was submit the permits for it. So, anything that's permitted, that's when we're really getting serious.
Absolutely.
Roofs, electric,
Plumbing.
water plumbing. Those guys are, there's a reason they're licensed.
Exactly. Exactly. Is there ever a case where you could do a general contractor for the major items, and then maybe get a licensed handyman as well?
On most
do some
of these
the other work?
programs, when you're getting these, you can have up to 2 to 3 contractors are allowed with us. The smaller things, we don't want to get 5 contractors in there, and you're running the deal as the buyer, as the new owner. It's too much work. Everybody thinks they can do it because they watch too much television. HGTV's great, but once you start getting into it, use HGTV for ideas, not for actual, application of the process.
It's a challenge. Yes, the TV always makes it look a lot
So
easier.
much easier. But poof, we're done in 30 minutes.
Yes, how quickly they build a house in a week. It's awesome.
It's fantastic. No issues ever pop up. It's kind of cool that they do show you that there's an issue that usually pops up with things, or a setback, because really they're preparing you for reality, in my opinion. There's going to be a slight little, hiccup, but don't get over emotional. Everything is fixable, especially with homes, in my opinion. It might cost you money though, which you don't like.
And that's what I always hear.
That goes back to the 10% contingency line. So it's great. These guys have thought of it all. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
It's just getting with the right loan officer that really enjoys this program. And I hope that I get you to enjoy the program
Oh, yeah.
too, to help your customers.
I agree. I mean, and that's the biggest thing. Is like it's fun. It's an opportunity to build out your new home with the great location, and
Oh, yeah.
that's why it's key. And then if you look at that end goal, it's always going to be worthwhile.
And
to
everybody's
do it.
looking for deals too. You could find a deal, you know,
Yes.
and this could help you get the location and deal.
Right.
Now, those are harder to find these days, but you know,
But if it needs work, typically that's where your deals come.
that's
from.
correct.
So
That's correct.
always key. Any other questions that have popped up?
No, that's all.
Well, I hope we've gotten the information across that's going to be helpful for everybody. But if not, you know, if you have further questions or if you want to know a little bit more about the renovation shop, I'm sure Donny can always take a call. Why don't you give us your contact information?
Yes, you can reach me at 904-237-6046. I'm Donny Griffin with Jet Home Loans. You can also email me. I'm teamgriffin@jethomeloans.com. That's jethl.com, just so you know. And after we post, I'll post my information at the bottom.
Fantastic. And of course, you know, if you ever have a home that you're looking for and you want to kind of get to that renovation aspect of it, please give me a call. Our team will be glad to assist you. Again, I'm George Pottenkulam with the Welsh team, Keller Williams. My phone number is 904-881-7695, so don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you for watching.